Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about my thoughts on the sex lives of college girls season 3 episodes 1 through 4. The fourth episode just aired tonight, and this is something I wanted to been talking about since episode 2. At first I was going to do a review of every episode, but I decided I'm just going to wait until the season ends next year and then just talk about it as a whole. But then there was some things that were just kind of bugging me a little bit in episodes 2 and 3. I think episode 4 is probably the best episode so far, and by far the funniest. There were actual times where I generally just laughed, which has been hard because this entire season I haven't really laughed at all because I don't know, there's just something flat about this season. A lot of the line delivery and the jokes aren't working. People normally say their lines too fast and don't give time to breathe for a joke. And there are three new actors this season who just aren't doing it for me and everything. It's just I'm not feeling their acting. And after I looked up one dude, I'm like, oh, I remember him from Insatiable. And I never liked his acting and stuff. But there's an odd, weird flatness this season in terms of jokes, and it's just I don't know. A lot of the jokes just aren't landing with me for some bizarre reason. And they have Rebecca Wiskowski. Finally, she's appeared, and she's a very funny woman in other shows I've seen her in. But they got her playing a serious person this season, and I'm just kind of she's a funny actress. Why are you having her be sick? I don't understand the humor and stuff. But there's some things I wanted to just touch on so far and everything. And I found to be very interesting. And it's you can tell the writers are trying to learn from some of the mistakes that they made that pissed a lot of fans off, and stuff like that. But then other times they go back to doing what they always do because that's Mindy Kaling for you and everything. And so there's just going to be a few things I'm going to touch on, just a couple of where the characters have been going this season, how I feel about their progression or regression or whatever, the new characters, the love interests this season are interesting to say the least. And so I feel like this season is a touch rushed. It's been a long time since season 2, and with the writer's strike and the actor strike and everything, and with Renee Rapp leaving, it kind of threw a bunch of monkey wrenches into the writing process and stuff like that, which couldn't be helped, but it is what it is. Two of the girls are in relationships and one's about to be in a relationship. And so one thing I'm finding interesting this season is that the relationships, their partners are kind of lackluster a little bit. Like Whitney and Kimberly, their boyfriends just really aren't doing it for me this season. A little bit has to do with the actors. Some of them are new still to acting, and some of them are trying to be kind of comedic, and I don't know. It's just I feel like there's a little chemistry there, but not really. And I don't know. It's just I'm not really feeling none of the relationships this season. Bella, on the other hand, is about to get in a relationship. And so far, that has been completely rushed. They had time to build some good drama with her relationship, but they completely rushed it just now with this fourth episode. And so, let's get into some of these characters individually and stuff like that. Layton, she's gone after the second episode, and boy, did she leave very quickly. And it was kind of, it wasn't as heartfelt as I was hoping it would be. Because like here's the thing, right? Originally last year when they was reporting on the third season, they said originally it was gonna be like 6 episodes and she was gonna be in half. They've now made it into 10 episodes this season. And instead of being in half the episode, she was only in two. And she is gone. And I mean gone. And you do kind of feel her absence a little bit. And they tried to fill her absence with two different characters. One is close to being like her, and the other one is just kind of annoying and everything. And so, like, I was surprised she left after 2 episodes, but I think she's either doing one or two things. She's about to tour with somebody, or she's coming out with an album. So she probably had to get out of there as fast as possible and stuff. So that sucks. We couldn't get more of her. Her storylines, with her girlfriend and everything, that was rushed. Her taking a bus to that other school, that was rushed. And then her, about to go to New York and everything, that was rushed because, 2 episodes. So, you can't really do much. But the sad part is that she didn't interact that much with her group and everything. And they had to find out through that one woman, I forgot her name, but she's in the wheelchair. She overheard Layton, that's it, Layton, not like Layton, returning back her books and found out she's going to be leaving. So she spilled the beans to the group, and the group was like upset and really sad. So they had one farewell with them having drinks in the room, like how they first started and everything. And it was very sad because they didn't get to have like a real good farewell. They didn't have much interaction and stuff like that. It was almost like the writers just didn't care. I bet you anything, they're holding a slight grudge. They have to. She's one of the main stars of the show, and she just up and left. And it just was just odd, that they didn't interact with her that much. Like, you really wanted a tearful goodbye. I've seen some goodbye episodes with characters who knew they weren't going to stay the entire season and wanted to leave, and the writers made sure they gave them a good farewell. This was just lackluster. It's almost like the writers just don't care that much this season, or they didn't care that much to send her off and everything. So she is now gone and everything. One of her replacements this season is, what's her name? I think Taylor. I think Taylor is the British girl or something like that. It's pretty obvious they tried to get a Renee Rapp lookalike. I mean, the girl pretty much looks almost spot on to her. She looks like a cross between Kim Goodman, no, Kim Friedman, I think her name is, the female Red Ranger from Samurai, and like Renee Rapp. And her character has major attitude, a chip on her shoulder. She's a lesbian. Gee, I wonder why her character is a lesbian, because Layton's like a lesbian and stuff. She likes to drink. She likes to party. But she realized, and she's also connected to Bella this season because Bella's mentoring her. And she at first tried to make Bella's life miserable because Bella was trying to counsel her and she didn't want to hear it, and she lied on Bella. So it made her a really terrible character right off the bat, but it made for an intriguing season until they wrapped it up real fast and said, oh, she has a drinking problem. So now Bella's being very supportive of her and helping her out. This helps the Bella character grow and develop more, but it kind of dwindles that of now, what did I say her name was? Taylor and everything. And to the point where her storyline literally got rushed in like an episode and a half or so. And it was just kind of like, really? So now she's kind of just going to be there, and no telling what the rest of the season going to be like for her. Casey is the new girl who's the roommate, and she's just kind of You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really feeling her acting. And the reason why I'm not feeling her acting is because she's not even an actress. She's a singer. And so apparently she's like in a band or something like that. and in real life, the actress and stuff. And so she's kind of just there. She's rude, but in a sweet baby doll kind of way, like a Sudden Belle kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to make her rude, like Leighton, but in a very sweet and adorable kind of way. But it just kind of comes off as eh. You know what I'm saying? And because she's not trained in acting, it just comes off as eh. And so her big storyline is that she had this boyfriend who went to their school and she finally gets to meet with him and everything. And it turns out he's been cheating on her. This is kind of reminiscent of Kimberly from season 1 when she had a boyfriend and he was cheating on her. So they couldn't come up with nothing more original. But her whole story arc this season is that she wants to be in a play and she can sing, but she got cast as the old woman and doesn't understand why. And so I'm just kind of like, I could care less. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said this before. And also, it's kind of weird that she's a singer in real life and she's going to be singing on the show. And Renee Rapp left because she wanted to be a singer. And it's just kind of like, I wonder, was that kind of like a shady kind of casting? I wonder. But I've said this before. Lila should have just been the 4th girl. She's already in the freaking show. She's friends with the group. She is the funniest person on the show, and the only thing she has to do is just talk. We really don't know much of anything about Lila because she's mostly just a recurring character who bops in, bops out. She works at the calf with Kimberly. She's very rude and sassy. She is extremely horny and perverted in everything, and everything she says is just funny. But what do we really truly know about her other than last season when she became manager and really wanted to be that, you know? And so this was a good way for them to introduce her into the group more, you know what I'm saying, and make her a main character. And this was a stupid missed opportunity from the writers and stuff. She should have been a main character. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get people who are showrunners and crap. Like, how did they fumble that so big? She should have been the replacement for Leighton and everything. And the only thing she's done this season is really only 2 things, well, 3 things. Give advice to Kimberly, like always. She doesn't like the little robot waiter things, and she said that's going to take away their tips. So she basically made them all go into a pit she dug and like burnt them like and everything. And she had some type of Chippendale runway model type thing, and that's literally it. Kanan, dude, where the heck has he been? Like, this is why I wanted to talk about this in the second episode, because after they fumbled the relationship between him and Kimberly, all because a couple of women complained online and didn't like that because they. And the craziest thing, it was I'm not even joking when I'm saying this. It literally was black women who was upset about this because when you went online to YouTube or you went online to somewhere like on Reddit or Twitter, the black female community was pissed that him and Whitney are no longer together. Who, you know, Whitney's black and he's now with Kimberly, who is white, and they did not like that. And the writers must have picked up on it and decided to break them up in the first episode. They dated like off screen during the summer. They've never banged at all. And they've only kissed at the end of season 2. This was a big FU to people who actually, like myself, wanted to see them together. Why did I want them to be together? I've said this plenty of times. He was like the first dude she met in the first season and everything. She grew up in a small white town and don't know nothing about people of color, especially black people. And when she interacts with people of color, especially that are black, she always makes a fool out of herself. This could have taught her so much. This is what you call character development, world building. But apparently Mindy Kaling and the other writers don't know that, apparently. And so, like, you know, and those two are friends and they work together and they always have good chemistry together. They would have made a very cute couple and everything. And the only reason why him and Whitney got together is because they're both black. And the writers all like, well, she's black, he's black, let's put them together and everything. And more importantly than that, I wanted her to walk with a limp. Seriously, like that's all I wanted. I just wanted her limping around all season long because those two have never even did it in everything. And Kimberly will do it in everything. Like she did it with her ex-boyfriend, who she hooked up with in the first season. She hooked up with Nico very soon. The second season, that one dude with the muscle, she hooked up with him and everything. And now they gave her a new love interest. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, look, maybe she's gonna wait like she did with Kanan and didn't want to rush it and stuff like that. She said, they never did it and everything because supposedly, she felt terrible about how the whole Whitney was ghosting her and it just made it awkward. And I'm like, okay, maybe she's gonna wait with the new dude. No. In less than a week's time, she's banged him and everything. In fact, she finally got to bang him this episode. And I'm just kind of like, really? You couldn't let her hook up with the black dude, not even once. She couldn't even have a limp. Like, she couldn't even have her friends pop her hip back in place. Ooh, that pisses me off. That pisses me off so much. You have no idea. And I was worried when they broke them up. He was going to appear less and less in the season. And by George, he did. He wasn't even in the second episode. He was in the background of the third episode and said one little line. In this episode, he's in it a little bit more, but he's just there to aid Lila and everything. And then he pops out. He's probably had the most screen time in this episode, maybe 40 seconds to a minute. And then if you add to that the episode he was in the third, maybe he's been in here for about a minute and 30 seconds. And I can't recall the first episode. He was there for a little bit longer. But he has barely so far appeared in this season. Did I say sentence? Season. Yeah, he has barely appeared in this season. And, he's a recurring character, but he appears a lot more in season 1 and 2 and has more to do and has more to say. And I looked up the actor's profile because this is why I waited to not complain about this in the second or third episode, is because at first I thought, did they write him off the show or something? No, he still is on the show. And he doesn't have no new projects, so he's there to be in more episodes, but he's not. And I was afraid this was going to happen. Now he's getting less screen time just to make way for the new boyfriends of the show. Speaking of Kimberly, she's just being her typical self. She's probably the second funniest person on the show because of the outrageous stuff she does and how she freaks out over it. Now she's dating a bisexual dude. What's his name? Eli, I think his name is. And so this is the dude from Insatiable, and I've never been a fan of his acting. Sorry, dude. I'm just not feeling it. Like, you're just very flat and boring. And so, like, I know that's harsh, but look, he needs to improve. Like, this is just criticism coming from the heart, okay? Because I always want actors to do good, and you gotta learn your craft, and you gotta learn it a lot faster than that. Anyway, so, like, he's bisexual, and she's never been with a bi dude, and they have the same interest in guys. And so, of course, being her, she screws things up by wanting to do him. Because he's telling her, look, just relax, calm down, because she's making things worse by making him feel uncomfortable, because she, and of course she doesn't want to like offend him in no kind of way. So that's where a lot of her humor comes from. Other than that, we don't know nothing about him. Don't know his major, don't know what he does for fun. He's literally just there to bang her and be her bisexual boyfriend. And so, in a way, this could teach her a whole lot more about bisexuality and everything. But so far, they're not teaching her anything. So, that's that. Bella is another person who had a lot of fan criticism from a lot of fans and the Indian community, and the writers took notice of that and tried to fix her this season. She is not as wild and crazy and overly sexual as she was in the first two seasons. Thank you, God. She was unbearable those first two seasons. She's being better. She's a mentor this season, but she still has a sexual streak to her and everything, which is fine, you know what I'm saying? Because that's who she is. And remember, like, she was sheltered and she's exploring and everything. But this season, it took her 4 episodes to bang somebody. That's impressive. But here's the thing, right? They kind of are rushing her storyline with this guy she likes. She likes a guy named Arvind or something like that. Arvind. They have finally given her a person of color to date. This was a complaint by a lot of the fandom because they know Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling will insert herself into one character she creates for her show. She'll either play that character herself, or in this case, she has somebody else play a kind of version of her a little bit, where the Indian girl only dates white dudes because Mindy Kaling only dates white dudes. And a lot of people in the Indian community are tired of seeing that in everything. I don't have a problem with Mindy Kaling dating whoever she wants. Like, just, I love interracial dating. And I don't mind if Bella dates white dudes. But because this is something Mindy Kaling does in every show she creates, it is annoying and everything. So they finally got her away from white dudes, kinda. The dude she's with now is Indian, but in case you haven't noticed, he's extremely light skinned to where if you glance at him really quick, you would assume he's a white dude. So Mindy Kaling decided to compromise. She gave fans a person of color for Bella to date, but he's super duper light skinned to where he looks white. Then on top of that, she hooked up with the mascot. That was hilarious because this dude literally just walked up to her for like 30 seconds and everything, started talking about how he likes her. We don't know what he looks like. She don't know what he looks like. They met up that night and they banged while he had the costume on. And when he kept talking to her, he had the costume on and the mask on. It was just like hilarious. She banged a fox. But like, I was all like, I bet he's white underneath. Like, I bet he is. And then he finally revealed himself and he's white. Oh, Mindy Kaling, but she's not gonna be with him though because she likes Arvind. The problem is he had a girlfriend. I said had. She tried to break him and his girlfriend up by sending a text that was explicit, and I'm all like, really? This is how now you're gonna make her into a terrible character, having her break up a relationship? Thankfully, she deleted the email before he saw it. However, at the end of this episode, he told her he broke up with his girlfriend. Why? We don't know yet. So of course, now she's interested, and now he's gonna be free to date. Wow, that was a rush storyline. That could have built up the entire season and had some good drama, but there is no drama with none of the relationships. Kinda except for that of Whitney. Whitney is overly stuffed this season. Stuffed in a complicated kind of way. She has way too many storylines going on this season. I will say, out of terms of character development, probably, now that I'm starting to think about it, Whitney's has always been the more complicated one every season. She dated her coach in the first season. She dated Kanan in the second season. And I think she liked one of her classmates and everything. She's on the soccer team. Her mom's into politics. She wanted to get into a sorority. But this season, she is overly stuffed. One, there was the sorority storyline that ended after 1 episode. Then they tried to set something up to where she's jealous of this freshman playing soccer. And this storyline so far is going nowhere because they're not doing nothing with that storyline other than just her being jealous for all of like 10 seconds and everything. And this is also another rehash of season one where her and another teammate didn't get along. Her and Willow is barely in this season. Like, Willow is probably in this show for a total of 20 seconds in a total of 4 episodes, only appearing in 2. Why is her best friend not in this season? Her and Kanan have not talked at all since the first episode. In fact, I don't even think they talked in the first episode. They literally have not talked at all because she's still pissed with the whole thing, but she's cool with Kimberly now. So they're not dating and everything. Then there's the stuff going on with her and her classes. So she's in some type of science like class in a laboratory type thing. And she's also taking a Black Studies class along with Kimberly. Her Black Studies teacher loved her essay so much and is all like, why don't you take this up as a major? And she's all like, I already got a major. She's like, well, you can take it up as a minor. She doesn't want to. This harpens back to season 2, I think it was, when she joined this one Black society on campus where we have not seen them at all this season. Literally. So what happened to that? And so they're still sticking with that storyline of her, so like, okay, wait, they dropped that storyline, but they're still keeping her wanting to know more about, I guess, like Black people and Black appreciation and stuff like that, right? Her teacher told her, you wrote an amazing essay, you can do so much more and all this other stuff, but she doesn't want to. Because of that, the teacher had retaliation and started calling on her in class all the time when she was talking in class and wanted her to write another essay because she was talking in class. She felt the teacher was bullying her and she dropped the class. This is one part that now is a little bit irritating because, okay, look, in her science lab class and everything, they didn't have what are them things called, like a hair net type thing for when you're in science lab to cover your hair up. They didn't have one for people who have dreads or braids, like something that's longer, right? And the teacher, who's white, told her that, like, oh, I'm sorry, we normally don't have people who take this class with, that type of hair, but I will, like, why don't you just sit this, like, experiment out, and I will work on getting you, like, the proper hair garment and everything, right? And so because of that, she gave like a weird look and went back to her African studies class that she dropped and told the teacher, I would like to stay in your class and this and that. Please tell me Mindy Kaling has a Black writer on the show. Because they trying to make it seem like, okay, there's a school, it's predominantly white, they don't have stuff that's for like Black people. I get that. Hair products is a very big thing when it comes to Black people. Go to like any store, Target, Walmart, a grocery store, you will see more white hair products than you will Black. You will have 2 shelves full of white products and a teeny tiny shelf for Black. That is the detriment of America when it comes to like other people's hair texture, especially that are Black. So I understand why they made that storyline, you know what I'm saying? But what I don't understand is why she was so upset that they didn't have no hair garment for her. Because, you'll think they'll have it for like longer people hair, or she could like roll her hair up because her braids are long, but they're not like they're not dreads, you know what I'm saying? They could fit in that thing. So, and the teacher literally said, hey, just sit this one out and I will work on getting you the proper hair garment. He made the effort to, understand her needs and try to fix the situation. But she felt, oh, gee, here's this major that's, apparently not for Black people and it's mostly for white people and they accommodate white people but not Black people. So let me leave this class and go to back to the class that I dropped that has to do with Black people. I don't get that. Like, if it would have been one thing if the teacher's all like, look, I don't have time to order a hair garment for you. You're just going to have to do what it is or take another class. If he would have been rude like that, I would have understand why she got upset and went back to her Black class feeling like, at least these teachers appreciate my Blackness and stuff like that. I don't understand why she got so like upset to the point where she wanted to retake the other class. Like she felt guilty or something like that, feeling like, oh, this is a class for me because of my race, but this class is not because it's mostly for other people. Wouldn't it have been better if she would have taken a class that's predominantly for white people and being a black girl there, showing that she can like handle that class and be better than them and stuff like that? I don't understand the writing process with that. It's like if he would have been rude to her and not care about her needs, then I will understand why she is the way she is. But it wasn't anything like that. And so, like, she retook the class and everything, but we don't see no mention of this class in that third episode or the fourth episode. And in her lab class, she missed the class because she's too busy banging her new boyfriend, which I'm now finally about to get into. So there's this guy who saw her across, like, I guess, like the courtyard or something like that, and she likes him, he likes her. And she's into him until she found out he is rich, and she doesn't date rich guys. Odd. She'll date a teacher, but she won't, and she'll date a poor person, but she won't date like a rich person. But anyway, he smooth talks her into somehow making her like him very quickly, and I don't understand how. And she's supposed to be turned off because that's like a major turn off for her. But whatever, he bought her like a gift and he doesn't even know her name and stuff like that. But anyways, in this episode, they just been banging, banging, banging. And now she's spending the night over there breaking her rule and their rule because they weren't going to do that because they're not going to date. That's the thing. They're just going to bang. And so, like, all this has caused her to forget her science lab class. So far, her and that guy, they don't really have no chemistry, and I'm not really feeling his acting. But it's kind of like, what kind of relationship are they kind of having? Like, because they're not even interacting that much in these 4 episodes. Now, they probably will in the next couple of episodes, but so far they are not. And it's just kind of like, we need something from them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of, and then we see her about to check into like a medical clinic, a mental clinic, not a medical one, but a mental clinic. But then she decided to not go forward with it. So what's going on with her mentally? That we don't know because they haven't explained it to us yet. They're just kind of teasing it, and they're going to explain it in the next couple of episodes. But so far, nothing's stressing her out. Like, like, other than she's jealous of that soccer playing girl. And that's about it, really. Like, if anybody was going to check themselves into a mental ward, it should have been Bella from last season, which Bella was going to leave school, but they had to rush that storyline because Renee Rapp left and stuff. And so it's just kind of like, I get she does have a lot going on. She dated her teacher the first time, and second season, oh, her boyfriend broke up with her. But I forgot why her and Kanan broke up. It had nothing to do with Kimberly. It was something completely different. It was something about her, I think, and the way she kept treating him. And I think she was starting to have feelings for another guy, I think. It's been over 2 years since the second season, so I can't really remember. But I don't know what the world has rocked her world so much that she would want to check into a mental clinic. And this whole thing with her bang buddy needs to progress, some kind of way and have some kind of drama because it's boring and everything. Like, it's really boring and stuff. So this is just how I feel for the first 4 episodes. There's not a whole lot going on. It's just, once the writer's strike was over, they was able to do rewrites. I don't know what the heck they are doing over there. I'm hoping the next couple of the next 6 episodes will be better. I'm hoping because I've always had like a iffy in the middle kind of feeling about this show. Like, I don't think it's like great or amazing, but I think it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something nice to watch and everything. But it's like after this many seasons, they still can't nail the writing, like, for all these storylines and characters and stuff. And they don't need two Laytons in the show. They just need to get rid of the roommate. And if they want to bring in the British girl, bring her in. Or better yet, just bring in Lila. Just saying. Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.